Welcome back to another episode of the Pierced Off Pod. We're so glad you're here.
Yes, we sure are. And you know what? I'm excited for today.
Yeah, I'm excited for today too. I feel like there's something new in the air.
Yeah.
I need it. Whatever it is, give me more of that air.
Literally, maybe Mercury's out of the microwave now. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's so relatable. That whole meme, I just can't.
Neither.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah. It's like I love when I see on social media and people are like, is anyone else like out of whack? Is the moon doing something weird? Because I'm just like,
yes.
I'm going to blame my lack of sleep or my, crazy emotions on that, yes.
100%, me too. Not really sure what's going on.
No.
But that's okay.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, like since deciding to sort of chase my bliss and do what I want to do and not like the safe path, I just feel like I've got to be working all the time. Like my life right now is just constantly, like I could work 24 hours a day and be like, I still haven't done enough.
Yeah, I feel you. And I just feel that in general life.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know, when you start seeing your life as a whole, the like working on your fitness and your mindset and your health and your relationships all counts too. Mm-hmm. So it's just like,
correct. And I don't know whether it's also the fact that we're coming up to silly season. Well, we are in silly season now, and it's exhausting. And like I said last week, like the Black Friday, Cyber Monday extravaganza that is still for some brands still going in, like, good on you, that's fantastic, but like it's exhausting. And then also like the pressure of like Christmas presents and yeah, like just trying to stay afloat.
Yeah, on top of everything else. And
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I know we talked about this last week, but Black Friday sales, who invented that? And there should be a rule. It's like one day, maybe a weekend.
Well, that's what it was to begin with, I feel like, and then brands are like going to be different and like extend it and do it early and do it late and this, that,
And then
the
if you
other.
don't do it early and you don't extend it, then suddenly you're behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is a bit exhausting and a bit crazy, but it's good. It's always
good.
I don't know, I feel like working on stuff that I'm passionate about, I never feel like upset about it.
Well, that's good.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Kind
but
of
I'm
important.
always happy to do that. So, it's good to be busy, but it's just like, and one other thing that's a little bit on my mind is that like, okay, so we have a podcast, right?
You are listening to it if you didn't realise.
And a
Thanks,
podcast.
Jess.
If you didn't know, we put it on YouTube now. If you're watching, you know that obviously. And like we're on social media in different respects and different ways. And like as I spoke about, the last few episodes, like this digital planner I've launched called Paper Plans. If you're interested, just a sneaky link. But it's like you constantly put yourself out there. Sometimes like I don't know if I'm just like overly exhausted from just like constantly like. Sometimes like it's like running uphill. It's just
It is. And like I said, like that with Christmas and end of year and going hard all year and just showing up for yourself and showing up for your family and everything like that, like it all adds up, and it does feel like an uphill battle at the moment, but it's worth it. And well, yeah. I didn't know what to say, but you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like you're striving for something really exciting, and
yeah.
And as exhausting it is, like that Christmas is going to be really busy and it's going to be exhausting, but you also get some downtime.
Yeah,
a little bit.
You're right, it is worth it. It's crazy, but it's worth it. And like anything like that's worth doing is hard, as they say. Or,
exactly.
So it's like I think something I've been trying is to do things that I find challenging just to like get my brain more used to it, which is why like I ran again this morning. Ooh, do I just run on the podcast days that we record just so I can say that?
Yes.
Maybe. But it's like I
You've
had
got yourself out there.
another cold shower, so
No shame, good on you.
We're trial and erroring it, but it's actually kind of leading into what we're talking about today, which is like reinventing yourself and like up-leveling, evolving, becoming who you actually want to be or feel like you truly are, as opposed to the sort of who you have been or who people expect you to be.
Yeah, I feel like there's this, and like going through like being a young adult and like coming out of school, going through uni, if you do TAFE, going straight into work, whatever path you end up choosing, like you've got to navigate that, right? And you kind of, well, for us anyway, we've definitely been influenced by what people expect us to be and who people expect us to be. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Processing still. Loading. But so like it does make it really hard, and then you kind of come to this, and I think it's a push from like social media today and everything like that, that you kind of come to this realization of, is this really what I want? You know, you kind of can look at life, you know, you might still be running on the hamster wheel, but you can kind of look at life from apart from that and be like, actually I don't want to run on the hamster wheel anymore, you know what I mean? Like I think we've got great opportunities to really self-evaluate and reflect.
Yeah, definitely. It is an amazing time to be alive because there's just so much opportunity. Like you can pretty much think up anything and make a career out of it. Like I saw this person who was on TikTok and he showed his story kind of, and he started working as assistant on like a movie film, and he started just sharing the experience on his TikTok, and he always wanted to sort of break that barrier between film and like real life and show like behind the scenes a bit more in like a real way. And then he got hired by this other movie, like this huge movie, their directors, because they saw his stuff and they were like, can you promote us by doing backstage content of the actors while we're filming? And then now it's become a whole new job. Like he created a job. And it's like, so pretty much anything that you're passionate about or you're interested in can become a big part of your life today, which is amazing. But it can also be very, very overwhelming. I feel like I'm constantly changing what I want to do.
Yeah, I'm a roller coaster at the moment.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. Like that needs to be normalized, because in figuring out like what you want to do and where you want to be and what is like your path, I think there is a lot of exploration, and it seems like everyone seemingly has it figured out. You know, when you look on social media, because it's a lot of the time you see the end product. Correct. And not the beginning, and so it's like good to remind ourselves of that. But I also think that in that process of exploration, I want it to be like a thing where you can just reinvent yourself. You can just, you know, like actively decide who you want to be and then be that person.
Yeah. But also like, I think there's also this thing that, you know, you decide who you want to be, and then you might realize that that's not who you want to be, and be able to tweak it as well. You know what I mean? There should be no pressure in you deciding who you want to be and then realizing, you know what, I think I can shift it a little bit and this would be more who I want to be as well.
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely experienced that too, and it has felt like a big pressure, like I couldn't, you know, reinvent the wheel. It's almost like if you don't really own it, it's like you can't, like it's very hard to do. But so you sort of just have to own it. Like people like Georgie Stevenson or Sarah Davidson, is that Spoonful of Sarah? And, you know, a lawyer turned entrepreneur or lawyer turned podcaster and this and that. And there's lots of people that have gone on one path and then that's how they figure it out. Because like no one's like born into this world knowing exactly what their purpose is or what they're meant to do.
No, exactly. And I don't know why we put on all this pressure on ourselves to know that as well.
I feel like it feels like to me sometimes that the time in life is limited. Like I really feel that, you know, especially like the whole like biological clock thing, you know, going to uni, and like when I did want to live that corporate life, when I thought that's what I wanted before I tried it, I really was stressed because it was like, okay, I'm going to have my degree that's going to take 6 years, and then I'm going to be 24, and then I have to either straight away pick the perfect career I want, or I'm going to flounder around trying to figure it out. And then you need a few years to get up before then you leave for maternity leave, or if you want to have kids. And like if you don't, that's absolutely great too, but if you do, then that's the thought process, that's something you have to consider. And I feel like that's what I've been battling with for like years now, like subconsciously, the feeling like I'm racing
the clock.
Yeah, racing the clock, and also racing toward, like, to what? Because your life doesn't end when you have kids, or like if you change your mind, or when you get to 30, when you get to 40, when you get to 50. Like it's you still have heaps of time, and you can still always change.
Yeah.
And reinvent yourself later on.
Exactly. Nothing's set in stone.
Yeah, and if you're constantly, like, living in this, like, fear of changing because you don't feel like you have enough time to, like, figure it out or try something new, then you're really just robbing yourself of the opportunity.
Yeah. That's right. I agree.
That's code for keep talking, Jess.
Yes. No. I think part of it comes down to being, like, limiting beliefs as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like, feeling like you don't know enough yet, or, yeah, like, you're too old, or you don't have enough time, or, I don't know, what will this person think, or... And a lot of the time it's you're making excuses because you're scared.
Yes. And it is scary. It
Yeah.
is so scary, but it's also worth it.
100%. And the thing is, like, I think it's also recognizing that it's not going to be easy. And where social media is making society believe that things are really easy, like change is really easy, because people become overnight successes.
Or seemingly overnight successes, because you've only seen from before to after, even if they've been working for ages.
Exactly. So people, and that's the thing, like, I think it's important that we start giving ourselves credit for the journey that we're on.
Yeah, and, like, realizing the worth in that.
Yeah.
And, like, honestly, it's so oversaid, but it's so true that you kind of need to embody the person that you want to be to become that person. You know, you have to start, like, one, believing that you're worthy of being the person that you want to be, and giving yourself permission to let other people see you as that, because I find, like, for me, there's certain people or certain groups or certain situations where I feel like, okay, this is what would be most appropriate for me to act like, or in this situation my place is to be this. And a lot of the time, like, I want to come across as, like, not threatening and
Likeable.
Yes, likeable. So I almost be extra silly sometimes. Like, I'll almost put on like, I don't want to be threatening at all, and it's like, actually no, sometimes I can just exist, and, like, I shouldn't, you know, we shouldn't put on these masks and these, like, faces when you're perfectly, like, valuable and valid being who you are.
Yeah.
And I think that the hardest thing for me is deciding that I'm going to take myself seriously.
I think that's the biggest challenge, and no one gives it credit.
Right? And it's because for other people to take you seriously, you have to take yourself seriously first. And, you know, people might look at that and say, like, judge you before people start recognizing. But that's usually because those people, if people judge you, it's because they don't give themselves the permission to take themselves seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Or they have their own insecurities, or they wouldn't, like, they don't back themselves to do what they want to do, or whatever it is, you know, like, there's always something behind the way people treat you.
But it's like them.
Yeah, it's a reflection of them, not a reflection of you.
And I just think, like, with this whole, like we all have heaps of time, but also, like, you never know. Like, is there a spider or something?
Oh, no, sorry. I don't know what I was looking at. I'm just thinking.
For those only listening and not watching, Danny was looking somewhere, and I was just like, is there a spider? But
she was concerned. I didn't understand why. My bad.
But sometimes I think that time is really precious, you know? And so I don't want to waste any more time not taking myself seriously because of what other people might think. Because then, like, even then, it's, I don't even know if that's what they're thinking.
That's true. That is very true. I hadn't really thought about it like that. Like, the amount of times that we assume what people think of us, and we assume what people are going to say about us, and
exactly
whatever.
We don't know. And also, I saw this interesting reel thing, and the girl on there was obviously somebody famous. I don't know. These days, everyone is famous, and you don't know who they are, which is great. I love this world. I love that you can have your own community and like be big and still like most people don't know who you are. But she obviously had some kind of credit. She was talking on a stage and she said that learning that other people's opinions isn't like, it's not my business, even if it's about me, was like weird to hear, because it's like you're trying to guess what other people think, but it's not your, you know, it's not your business to know what they're thinking. That's their thoughts.
True.
You know, so it's like, well, even if it might be about you, it's still not your business, so why worry about it? Don't try and figure it out, because just worry about what's going on in your own head.
Exactly. I like that. I'm gonna try and implement that. It's gonna be tough.
It is tough. It is very tough, because I mean, it's natural to want to fit in, like that's normal.
Yeah, we want to belong.
And like I just, like we were talking about this before we started recording, but I feel like it's even harder to like take yourself seriously or take a leap of faith or start showing up as who you believe you are and who you want to be, not who you think everyone else wants you to be, when it's like you don't have a super supportive large group of friends. Like we have a lot of support, you know, it's amazing, but then I still feel like a lot of the support that I have are like related to me. Nothing wrong with that, but like I don't know, I don't have that like that large of and like that's something that I'm trying to manifest, because I feel like once you start becoming who you intrinsically are and want to be and believe you should be and believe you deserve to be, then you start attracting the right people.
That's right.
It's one of those things where you have to do it first, and then, you know, it's like you can't just wish around waiting for something, you know.
No, you're right. Sometimes you got to be the first person, and that can be scary. But that's all I had to say. I really apologize.
You good?
I'm good. Just a bit scatterbrained. I don't even know. There's just like a whole lot of stuff, but a whole lot of nothing in my brain right now, all at once.
Well, okay, let's circle back then. Let's recap. We're talking about reinventing yourself, and it's like when you go through different transitions in life, that's like a lot of the time when you might need to reinvent yourself. Like, what are some situations? Let me think. Like if you came out of come out of a relationship and you've had a breakup, sometimes it's really nice to sit back and think like, who am I? And you really go back in on yourself. And I feel like that's a really great time, but that's also a time that's very like accepted to do that. I think other times, and that's like, it's not exclusive to when you have a breakup, you know. You know, you might be reinventing yourself if you have a career change, or if you start dating somebody new, or you move to a whole nother place. And I think the thing with all of those examples is that there's a catalyst that allows you to have the space and the opportunity to reinvent yourself and to, you know, take time and evolve as a person. And I think, how can we start implementing those when you don't have, like, how can you create your own catalyst?
That's probably where I'm stuck on this the most, because even with having like somewhat of a catalyst in my own life at the moment, I still don't have right now the space to really invest in what I want to in reinventing myself, which is really, like, if I'm honest, disheartening, and it's demotivating and blah blah blah, you know, all the rest.
Don't dwell on that.
Exactly. But like, it was really interesting. I was listening to a podcast by Jay Shetty yesterday.
Love Jay Shetty.
Yeah, 100%. And I was listening to an old episode too, an old podcast episode of his, and it was just like accepting the fact, and I know this for a fact, that you're not always going to be motivated, but sometimes you just got to do it. And that's what I'm really struggling with at the moment. You know, like you this morning, you decided to get up, go for a run, have your cold shower, show up who you want to be and who you want, or how you want people to see you, right?
Yes.
And that's amazing. And last night I went to bed and I was like, you know what? I'm going to set my alarm at a reasonable time, and I'm going to get up and I just do something for me in the morning. Did I do it? No. I did not. I stayed in bed until the last minute until I had to get up for work. And I'm disappointed in myself for, one, not sticking to what I said I was going to do, because like it creates trust issues in yourself.
Yes,
when you don't follow through on what you say you're going to do. So, and I actively know that, and I still don't do it. And I've got to break that cycle. But also because, where was I going with that? I don't really know. But like, I'm also at the same point exhausted to the point where I do value that extra rest, but the thing is I make myself feel guilty for it. Like, I'm not entitled to having that rest and accepting the fact that, you know what, it's actually not that bad that I stayed in bed, you know, like, because I make myself feel guilty for not getting out of bed,
and that doesn't help.
No, exactly,
That makes it worse.
Exactly.
Always makes it worse. And yeah, I think it is interesting from your, like, I don't look at you at all and think you should be disappointed. Like, you have a lot on right now. And for me, it's like, well, I could, like, you have to get up and like work, right? Like, you have this time thing. And one of the reasons I feel like for me, it's like, okay, I want to get up and run and shower or something, is because like I have to create my own structure in the day. So it's like I have a different need for it. But it's funny because you said that, you know, you woke up and you stayed in bed and you went whatever this morning. So for me to get up and go for a run and have a cold shower, like, if I don't say the night before I'm going to do that, then I don't. There's no chance that I'm going to wake up in the morning and be like, I'm going to go for a run this morning. If I didn't tell myself the night before, that is what you're doing. You're doing that. And so, because I tried that last week and I didn't get up. So then last night I was like, okay, there's no reason for you not to get up tomorrow unless you have like a terrible night's sleep, basically, you know, like you're you know, you're at an okay point in your cycle, like you have enough energy, like you have enough time, you don't have to get up crazy early tomorrow, you're going to get up and you're going to run. And also because I told Jackson about why I like running, and he was like, why you like running, you just did it one time. And he's not wrong. And I was like, and then he was like, okay, like, that was a joke, and you know, you're allowed to like things even after one go, and you're allowed, like, he was joking, but it made me think, yeah, I really got to stick at this. So there was that motivator, but there was also like, when I woke up and then I went back to sleep straight away, and I was dreaming that I was explaining to Jackson why I wasn't gonna get up to run because I was too tired and I'm just gonna stay in bed. And then I woke up and I realized I literally tried to convince myself to stay in bed while I was sleeping. And I was like, no, we cannot let Jess get away with this. Jess being myself. We cannot let myself get away with this. Like, that is not okay. Your subconscious needs to be smacked into place. So then I made myself get up and run because, like, and also, yeah, because I am trying to, you know, give myself permission to take myself seriously in life and show up as who I want to be and not, you know, just, you know, be my best self. You know, I've got to do those things.
Yeah.
And if I don't do that for myself, like,
no one else is going to do it for you.
Yeah, and why would, if I don't take myself seriously enough to, like, you know, listen to what I'm going to do, why would anybody else? But again, I'm in a position where I can do that.
Yeah.
Like, and also I've had time, like, it's not like overnight. For a long time, I didn't know who I wanted to be or who I'm, you know, like, I didn't know what that best version of myself was. So how can you reinvent yourself, or how can you take yourself seriously and give yourself the permission to evolve, and if you don't know who you're evolving into? So taking that time and going through, a lot of the time it's really challenging situations. Like, for me, I had a rough 3 months in the middle there. You were there, you know. It was not a good time, and you know, in those days it's like sometimes I dragged myself out of bed, but I didn't really, because, you know, I didn't know, like, I wasn't living for myself, so it's very hard to have motivation to do anything when you're not living for yourself. So, like, if you're in that place, a little bit like you, I feel like, Danny, like, with the not knowing, like, not having enough space to do the internal work, like, just breathe and, like, it'll come, and the challenging time is shaping you to know who you want to be in this world. a little bit more. You know, it's never a done journey. Like, it's never a process that's, oh, done, I know who I am now.
Yeah, no.
But it's all helping, and yeah, it's frustrating though, because when you want to be better or be the best version of yourself, you just want to do the things. But it does start with internal work.
Yeah. So be kind and gentle to yourself, because it'll come.
And don't wait for a
catalyst.
A life catalyst to take yourself seriously. You know, decide who you are and be that person.
Yeah. And even if it's just like one small change a week or a month, like, you don't have to, and that's the other thing, you don't have to do it all at once, and even trying to do it all at once can be overwhelming and be too much, and then you fall back into the, oh no, it's too hard, right? So, you know, take care with it and be, what's the word? I don't know what the word is. Be, direct in your approach. I mean, be selective about what you do, and don't just do it for the sake of doing it. Like, have purpose behind it.
Yes, like, be intentional.
Yeah, that's the word.
Be intentional. You got this. And,
you got this.
You know, like, there's nothing wrong with who you are now, but
no.
I just think a lot of us, including myself, like, hold ourselves back because of the boxes we think we should be in. So
Correct.
That's what this conversation is about, breaking through that. Like, you know, own your shit. Am I allowed to say that?
Well, you just did, so.
Said it last week.
True. All right.
Are you done?
Yes.
Thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you.
I hope this episode was insightful and came at the right time for you.
Yes. And share it with those who you think could really use to hear it.
Yeah. That
Did
would
that
be
even
great.
make sense?
Not really,
Not
no.
really. You guys will understand where I'm at very soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And for those feeling like me, it's okay. We're going to get there.
Yeah. Just showing up is amazing.
That's right. Well, until next week, bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening in.
There's absolutely no pressure to do this, but if you're happy to share the podcast with your friends or on your socials and tag us at Pierced Off Pod, that would be amazing.
You can also leave us a stellar 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening on if you're feeling extra motivated today. It really does help us out so much, but ultimately, we are just beyond grateful that you're here.
You are also more than welcome to come and hang out with us on our other socials. All of our links are in the description.